The best tool we got right here. Box opener.
That's your chef's tools, the box cutter.
That's it. Open up a box. Serve it. Give it to them.
Yeah. Let's look at the things that are actually cooked.
Oh, okay.
Here you go. Here's a menu.
This day.
Mashed potatoes.
Ham. Chili will be homemade.
The chili will be homemade. And what about the tomato soup?
Campbell's.
Meatballs. Comes in a box, heated up. Out of the course of an entire month, 6 out of 36. You're only cooking 6 out of 36 meals.
Appleton Central Alternative High School is filled with students who have truancy and behavioral problems. But they've turned things around, not through discipline, but through diet.
We were fortunate to kind of stumble across this healthy program as a result of some contact with Natural Oven and Bakery of Manitowoc, Wisconsin. And they believe in low-fat, low-sugar, non-chemically processed foods that are free of dyes and preservatives, full of whole grains, a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. We do no beef here at all. And then it's the method of preparation where we don't fry. We do a lot of baking and then just fresh preparation as opposed to opening cans or thawing things out from the box.
We got rid of candy machines, soda machines, brought in bottled water, and it was just a situation where we saw a major change in the kids. You know, if you walk through these halls and you're here, these do not look like at-risk, out-of-control kids. Their behaviors are better. They seem to be more focused. Teachers will tell you that they get more out of them in the class.
Keep in mind, this is not a private school. These are the quote-unquote troubled kids of the public school system in Appleton, Wisconsin that are eating so well. And it costs about the same as any other school lunch program. So my question is, why isn't everyone doing this?
There's an awful lot of resistance from the junk food companies that make huge profits off the schools at the present time. They don't want to get kicked out of the school system. They want to be there to addict the children for life.
The soft drink companies especially boast about how they're contributing to America's education. But in fact, what they're doing is they're draining money from the community rather than contributing money to the community, because the soft drink companies aren't pumping those dollars into the machines. It's the children in the community who are getting the money from their parents. And instead of that money going directly to education, the soft drink companies are taking a cut of it and, you know, walking away rich as a consequence.
We just banned soda in our school district. And the sugar here shows you how much sugar a student will drink in a week of just soda. Forget about the rest of the food they eat. And some of these companies are really opposing the ban for reasons of that we would lose revenue. And it's not about money. It's not about economics. It's about health.
Oh, the McDonald's Texas Homestyle Burger Meal. That's a local specialty. So it's kind of like a Big and Tasty, but only.
Except the Big and Tasty
comes with man. Oh, and you know what? I need the McDonald's Texas Homestyle Burger Meal, please.
Would you like to supersize it tonight?
Oh, yes, I would. Do a lot of people supersize it? Yeah, like say you ask 5 people. How many of those 5 do it?
Actually, I get mostly all of them.
Oh, mostly all of them? So you just say you're batting about 100%. See that? She's that good. Deborah's that good. So first meal inside the restaurant that I went in to get, and they asked me to supersize it. We're going to keep a little tabs, see how many times they asked me to supersize it here in Texas. Because Texas, out of the top 15 fattest cities in America, Texas has 5. Here we are, Houston, Texas, fattest city in America. Getting my first breakfast.
When it comes to the topic of obesity, many people are quick to point the finger at various foods and food companies. But the Grocery Manufacturers of America, a Washington, D.C.-based lobby group whose mission is to advance the interests of the food, beverage, and consumer products industry, are quick to shift the focus away from the companies they represent and to remind everyone that there's more at work here than just eating poorly.
We believe very strongly in our industry and in other industries. I think you'll find there's a growing consensus that the solution lies in good education. We have to get good information to parents so that they can teach their children better exercise and nutrition habits, and so that they can lead the healthy lifestyles. We don't teach physical education in schools anymore.
In the U.S., only one state requires mandatory physical education for grades K through 12. It's also one of the fattest, Illinois. Phil Lawler is the phys ed teacher at Madison Junior High School, home of the Soaring Warhawks, the snack-ridden school lunches we saw earlier, and one of the most well-executed physical education programs in the country. Supported mostly by fundraising and parent involvement, Lawler has created a role model for instructors and school districts nationwide.
When's the last time you've ever heard of a science class fundraising to get their labs? Eventually, society has to step up to the plate and say, this is important, we should have daily physical education and equip it properly. Well, we have to say our greatest strength is the resource of our young people. That's our future. And boy, if the way we're treating our resources right now, we're running into some serious problems with that. See, I've always said we've never had health care in this country. We've only had sick care. I think daily physical education is the only place out there that's really offering a solution.
Let's start the music. You are going to begin traveling through general space. You will go back to your spot, and I will tell you a body shape. Watch out for other people. Good job.
How many days a week do the kids here at this school get to go to the gym?
Once.
1 day a week?
1 day a week for 45 minutes.
Is that enough?
No, nowhere close. Not when the Surgeon General recommends that at minimum you need 30 minutes of physical activity a day to maintain your weight and a healthy well-being. So once a week is nowhere close.
In 2001, President Bush announced his presidency with sweeping education reform. The No Child Left Behind Act would now hold states accountable for not having students who met minimum education requirements. Apparently, we were not only the fattest nation in the world, but we were quickly becoming the stupidest.
And it may be sending a very difficult message for schools. I mean, one of the reasons recess is being cut back in elementary schools, as I said earlier, is that's being cut out so they can prepare for the tests. You know, and something I've said to a couple of groups, it's very interesting. We could end up with youngsters who could read, but who are fat. So we have fat readers, quote unquote. As more and more we put mandates on the school to be very myopic in their focus, we mitigate against all of these other areas where they should be devoting time and energy, including phys ed, nutrition, health. These are all the things being cut out.
Who in here can tell me what a calorie is?
You know what's on the back of the food box?
Something you should watch.
Something you should watch. Yeah, you got that right.
Is it the fat that goes through your
What's a calorie?
Oh Jesus. Calorie is an increment of
That's a good question.
Most of us know what a calorie actually is.
I don't know. Oh wait, is a calorie some part of fat? Like, I don't know.
It's something that builds up the fat in your body. Calories are not good.
This amount of, see, I don't know. I want to say this amount of calories in a calorie. I don't know.
I never pay no mind what calories are. I just eat when I'm hungry, and that's it. So if you can tell me what a calorie is, go ahead.
Calorie is a measure of the energy content of food. And a calorie, the kind that you usually see when you see the caloric content on food labels, 1 calorie is the amount of energy that's needed to raise the temperature of a liter of water by 1 degree centigrade.
Well said.
Could I get a bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle?
Oh, it's like a little pancake.
Tastes like a little pancake.
Look at that. I haven't walked a half mile a day since we've been here. No wonder everything's bigger in Texas.
If you're inside, stay there. The blizzard of 2003 isn't over yet.
I got my lunch, got my dinner. Never have to leave the house. Right. I'm not going to completely become vegan just because you want me to.
I'm not saying you should do it because I want you to. I'm saying that you need to think about what you believe is a system that is corrupt and immoral and wrong and hurtful, but you're going to be a part of it. Where is the disconnect there? Why don't you make that choice?
Why don't I make the choice to not eat meat?
Yes. Because you like it.
Because I like
Because
meat.
it tastes good.
I like bacon. I love pork chops. Ham is the greatest
I'm sure
thing
heroin
ever.
is awesome. I'm sure it's
Heroin
great.
and ham are in completely different categories. I'm sorry, but ham and heroin are not the same thing. They're not. They're not. I could be strung out on ham for days and be okay.
You are, though, strung out.
And I am strung out on ham.
It's hard for me to watch him go through this. I gotta tell you. I worry about his health. He's exhausted by the end of the day. Just so tired. Gets home really late from work. And, you know, he gets all jacked up on sugar and caffeine and then he crashes. And then when we do have sex, I gotta tell you, he's not quite as energetic as he used to be. I have to be on top. Otherwise, he gets tired easily. I think the saturated fats are starting to impede the blood flow to his penis, and he's having a hard time, getting it up. He does, totally. I mean, it's still good, but it's like definitely a big difference. There's definitely a difference. I can tell.
Oh, I feel horrible today. My headache's coming back again. It feels like somebody's yanking on the tendons behind my eyes. My body officially hates me.
All the vitamins that you see here, vitamin E, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, and so on, are all under 50% of what you need. You're getting quite a lot of carbohydrates, and I know clearly that those are all refined carbohydrates because those are coming from the buns, biscuits, hash browns, okay?
Right.
And the sugar. I mean, let's not forget the most refined carbohydrate of all, which is coming from your milkshakes and your Coke.
In fact, there are only 7 items on the McDonald's menu that contain no sugar whatsoever. French fries, chicken McNuggets, hash browns, sausage, Diet Coke, coffee, and iced tea. Everything else, even the salads, contain sugar.
Telling you, 202.
Yeah,
I lost a pound.
Oh, thank God. Muscle weighs more than fat, so no, you might have lost some muscle mass and gained some fat mass.
I lost a pound. Let's go get something to eat. I was feeling bad in the car. Feeling like shit. Really. I was feeling really, really sick and unhappy. Started eating. Feel great. Feel really good now. I feel so good, it's crazy. Isn't that right, baby?
Yeah, you're crazy, all right.
(150/90). The headaches might even be hypertensive headaches, but they're probably not. They're probably related to, to blood sugar. You might be in this hyperinsulinemic state. 150/110. Your total cholesterol was 165 before. Now it's 225. A liver that's inflamed in any way or sick in any way will leak some of its enzymes out into the blood. So this is very non-specific, but it means the liver is sick.
Yeah.
And the most likely cause of your liver sickness is a fatty liver. Your liver is now like pate. Its GOT was originally 21. Now it's
130.
And its GPT was originally 20.
Was
Now
20.
it's 290. More than tenfold increase.
That's
not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. Anybody would say right now that you're sick. You feel fatigued with this. You feel lethargic with this. You feel run down with this. You feel. If somebody were doing this to their liver with alcohol, they could theoretically wipe out the liver. Wipe out all the liver cells, and there'd be liver failure. Now, I've never heard of anybody doing this to their liver with a high-fat diet. But I guess anything's possible. I mean, I don't know. I can't answer the question. Never been done before. No one's ever wiped out their liver with a high-fat diet before.
Wow. And I won't wipe out my liver in 2 more weeks.
I would think it'd be unlikely. I don't want to tell you wouldn't. I mean, my advice to you is to stop doing what you're doing because it's hurting you and you're sick. You're sick and you're making yourself sick, and you can make yourself unsick by stopping doing what you're doing.
I'm just afraid there will be something that's totally irreversible, you know, that there will be some damage done. That.
Yeah, I don't know.
So do they think that once you change your habits, that that's going to correct itself?
Yeah, they think that everything should get back on track once this is done. You know, your liver, you know, and I've even been doing some reading, your liver is very resilient, and your liver heals itself. So.
Well, if you need a portion of my liver, honey, you can have it. I'll give up part of my liver for you.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks.
There's a drug that is used in emergency rooms called naloxone. It's used for heroin overdose. And a guy comes in, overdose on heroin, comatose, he's going to die. You inject him with this drug, and it blocks the opiate receptors in the brain. Heroin doesn't work, he wakes up. If I give that same drug to a real chocolate addict, a person just shoveling it in, you find the most amazing thing. They lose much of their interest in chocolate. They take a bite, they set it back down. In other words, it's not taste and mouthfeel. It's a drug effect of the food within the brain that keeps us coming back again and again.
But it's interesting you're saying that your mood goes up once you start eating.
Yeah, lately, every time I eat, I feel 100% better.
Huh. So it seems like you're starting to get addicted to it now.
People who eat their food at least once a week, heavy users. I'm not kidding. 72% of the people who eat at McDonald's are heavy users. They also have another category, the super heavy user. These people eat their food 3, 4, 5 times a week and up. 22% of the people who eat at McDonald's are super heavy users.
If you look at the menu at a fast food restaurant, they use all of the addicting components. They'll take a slab of meat, cover it with cheese, of course, which is filled with the casomorphins, the opiates that are found in the cheese protein. And then they serve it with a sugary soda, which has the addictive powers of sugar, with plenty of added caffeine. Now, you might be a 12-year-old kid. Your brain is no match for that combination.
In 2002, McDonald's France took out a full-page ad in a French magazine in which a nutritionist stated, "There is no reason to go to McDonald's more than once a week." McDonald's corporate headquarters in the U.S. freaked out, saying that this is only one opinion, and that the vast majority of nutrition professionals say that McDonald's food can be a part of a healthy diet. So, we thought we'd randomly call some nutritionists to see what their opinions were when it came to eating fast food.
How often do you think that people should eat fast food?
Ideally, never.
Rare to never.
The less the better. 0 is the best. And hopefully no more often than once a month. If you are stranded on a deserted island, or if we get bombed with anthrax and that's the only food available, that's the only time you should eat fast food.
We called 100 nutritionists all over America, and the results were not on track with the vast majority McDonald's talked about. Only 2 out of the 100 said you should eat fast food 2 times a week or more. 28 said once a week to once or twice a month, and 45 said you should never eat it. 95 of them agreed that it is a major contributor to the obesity epidemic sweeping America.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, Morgan. How are you? Rich Bennett from Health. Unfortunately, I have to tell you that Health is going to have to close its doors effective immediately. I'm sorry to have to tell you that over the phone. We're all sort of surprised, but we will proceed as before, just not at the Integrative Health Center. Okay, Morgan, thanks, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Apparently, we don't put much value on health in America anymore. In fact, each year we spend over $30 billion on diet products and weight loss programs, 2.5 times what we spend on fitness and health. There are pills, drinks, bars. You can lose weight while you sleep, while you watch TV, and while eating everything you want, always pushing the newest way to stay thin without exercise. Some people, however, feel that they have tried everything and see only one remaining option as their last hope for health.
I'm diabetic. 80% of people don't have to take insulin anymore after this. Plus, I have hypertension. Hopefully correct that, lose my weight and lose my high blood pressure.
Yeah.
This is Bruce Howlett. In a few minutes, his stomach will be surgically reduced to the size of a small apple in a gastric bypass operation.
People with hypertension who are obese, about 75% of them will get rid of their hypertensive medications.
Doctors Adam Naiman and Carl Geisler will be performing the operation. Together, they have done more than 500 gastric bypass surgeries, and with their tandem technique, they are setting the industry standard, completing the procedure in less than 30 minutes and sending patients home the following day.
We have established now that the only procedure that really cures diabetes is obesity surgery.
Went blind for a week.
Just went completely, just one day out of the blue, you went blind.
I went to work, got to work, drove to work that night, got to work there, couldn't read the charts, and I had to call my supervisor, tell her I couldn't work because I couldn't see what I was doing, and I had to call my wife, had her get a ride to work to pick me up and take me home. And then once I stopped drinking the diet soda waters and stuff, got my sugars back down, I was fortunate enough my eyesight came back. I didn't do that much damage to them at that time.
I think it's human nature to seek a drastic solution only when you're faced with a drastic problem.
Oh, I drank 3 or 4 of those a day.
3 or 4, because this is a half gallon. So that means you were drinking probably about 2 gallons of soda a day.
It wasn't unusual for a 2-week time. We'd buy like 52 liters of soda water.
52 liters every 2 weeks.
And I probably end up having to pick him up a couple extra. He drinks more than I do.
Yeah.
I'll go through about 1 of those a day.
Yeah.
There's some days I go through 3 or 4 2 liters.
A lot of us don't realize the social stigma that these people face on a daily basis.
1, 2, 3.
It's like 2 in the morning on February 21st. I woke up, couldn't breathe, was having really difficulty breathing. Very hot, and felt like I was having heart palpitations. Came up and walked around the living room, just trying to get my breath back, and I want to finish, but don't want anything real bad to happen either.
Your EKG is normal. Deep breath. And now, listen. I don't have a ready explanation for your chest pain. Okay. Would you at least consider taking aspirin once a day now that you're on this ridiculous diet?
Maybe. I'll think about it.
Why would you even think about it? Why wouldn't you just do it? This is really, you saw these numbers, right? These numbers are absolutely outrageous. Okay, for the first time, we're seeing uric acid elevated. So you're giving yourself hyperuricemia, and the danger of hyperuricemia is gout, kidney stones. The results for your liver are obscene beyond anything I would have thought.
Yeah.
Truly. I mean, you know, that movie, Death in Las Vegas, Nicolas Cage, I mean, that pickled his liver during the course of a few weeks in Las Vegas, right?
Right.
I would never have thought that you could do the same thing with a high-fat diet.
Yeah.
My advice to you as a physician is that you've got to stop. You're pickling your liver. Yeah. You're kicking it while it's down now. You know, now it's down, and you're kicking it further. I mean, if you're an alcoholic, I'd say you stop. I'd say you're going to die. You keep drinking, you'll die. If the pain starts to radiate to your jaw, down your arm, that's life-threatening, and immediately so.
Yeah.
So I need to hear about that, or you need to call 911.
Okay.
All right.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, sweetheart.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm worried about you.
Yeah.
I had no idea this was going to be such a dangerous experiment.
Yeah. I don't think anybody did. You know, the doctor didn't even think it was going to be this drastic. He's floored by it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know what will happen. You know, he says, listen, I have no idea. But, you know, he said that if I am feeling bad or feeling anything to page him, and he'll admit me immediately wherever I am.
Oh, sweetheart.
Yeah.
I love you so much, and I don't want you to be hurt.
Yeah, me either. Me either.
So I'll tell you, if you start to get nauseous, you start vomiting, your eyes turn yellow, you have got to go to the emergency room, no matter where you are.
Okay.
If you're, you know, again, if you're not keeping food down or anything, you're feeling sick to your stomach, you know, it looks like, you know, your liver function tests are getting worse.
My suggestion would be to stop the diet.
Okay.
And, you know, go back to eating lower fat